What's up, everybody? I'm Simon Sabro, and today I got for my October reading log. So before I jump into that, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Simon Sabro YT. Link will always be down in the description. Also, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss an upload, all that good stuff. Also, be sure to comment down what's your favorite candy, because I know Halloween did just pass. So comment down what's your favorite candy. Mine's is Twizzlers. I know a lot of people might not agree with that, but my favorite candy is Twizzlers. So like I said, comment down what's your favorite candy. Also, comment down what you've been reading recently. But with all that out the way, let's just jump right into it. Alright, so I did read a lot this month. I think I read like a good 15 volumes or so. Like I read a pretty good amount. But we are gonna start off with a horror one that I did kind of briefly talk about before, and that is PTSD Radio. This is probably one of my favorite reads for this month, and honestly I enjoyed everything I read actually, but this one was really good, probably because I didn't have too high expectations for it, because a lot of horror manga aren't really, I'm not much a fan of, I'll be honest. But this one was honestly amazing. And funny enough, just from the volume cover and a couple of these color pages in the book, honestly was the main reason I picked it up. Specifically, this page right here is, like I said, really why I picked it up to begin with. And I kind of just wanted to give it a try. This is really good though. I can't speak too much on the plot, I'll be very honest. It kind of missed me. Maybe it flew over my head. Maybe there is no real plot. But honestly, the art is amazing in it. And at some points, I did genuinely feel uncomfortable reading this. Like, that's how good it was. I'd use this example in one of my other videos. I forgot which one exactly. But kind of like this little page turner here. So you turn the page when I get a grip on it. And like I said, the art is amazing. Just the amount of detail in it, the shading, everything was phenomenal. And like I said, I honestly fell in love with this book. I believe it is going to be 4 volumes total, I think. And honestly, I'm definitely going to pick up all 4 of them, because this first one was amazing. And like I said, not too much a fan of horror manga, but this one was really, really good. Definitely would recommend it. I'd probably give it like a good 6 or 7 out of 10, maybe like 6.5 out of 10. Like I said, really, really good, really enjoyable. Definitely go check it out if you're into horror. The next one I did read is Drip Drip. This one is by the same mangaka behind Beastars, and it is just this one volume. This manga was honestly really, really funny. Very enjoyable. So it's about our main character. I honestly forgot her name, but anytime she touches something dirty, she kind of gets a really bad nosebleed, to the point where she'd pretty much bleed out. But she just wants to live a normal life, and specifically what's talked about in this volume, or not volume, but story, is she really wants to fall in love and do the do. But she, like, in her head, is considered dirty, so she's not able to really get to that point. It's honestly very funny, and at times it kind of, I don't know how to say it, but you kind of start to feel bad for the character at some points, but also it's really humorous to where you don't feel bad for her. I don't know, you'd kind of have to read it to understand what I mean. I'd also give this like a good 6.5 out of 10. It was honestly really enjoyable, and I didn't have much expectations going into it, but it's really, really cool, especially the ending, which I'm not going to talk about. But if you've read Drip Drip or Beastars, honestly, let me know how you felt about it down below. I haven't read Beastars, I've only watched the anime, but just off of the anime, it is really, really good. But yeah, that is it for this one. There's a lot of pages in here I can't show. There is a bit of nudity. It does come wrapped in plastic, but like I said, really, really enjoyable. And I'm kind of trying to breeze through some of these, because like I said, I do have a lot to get through. After that, we have Spy Family Volume 8. Now this one I'd give a solid 8, funny enough. It was really good, actually. A little bit of spoilers, because I know the anime is going on. Some people haven't seen the anime or haven't gotten to this part, or really the anime just hasn't covered this part of the manga yet. But the Forgers are on like a cruise, and Yor is kind of on a more of a business part of the cruise. She's kind of a bodyguard for somebody, And it is honestly funny because Anya and Lloyd are also on the cruise, but they're there kind of like on vacation, so they can't really see Yor much. But Yor has to stay hidden because she doesn't want, you know, Lloyd to find out that she's doing bodyguard work. But Anya knows, of course, and it is honestly really, really funny. Honestly, some of the coolest moments in Spy Family so far were in this volume, especially from this character right here. This man is cold. I'm not gonna lie. This man was cold for this whole volume. And overall, really enjoyable, really fun, really lighthearted. And I think I said this in my last reading log with Spy Family in it, is that it feels like in every volume, every character gets a bit of spotlight. And it's honestly really cool to see that it feels like there aren't characters that are just forgotten about. Like every character you meet is relevant, honestly, still. And it's honestly, like I said, really good, really refreshing, because there's a lot of manga where they introduce a bunch of characters and then those characters are never really relevant again. So seeing that in Spy Family is really, really cool. The art is amazing. Everything about it is just so fun and enjoyable. Now, honestly, probably my favorite read of the month has to go to Call It a Night Volume 9. This volume was amazing. If you've been watching the anime, comment down how that's been going. Definitely go read the manga. I'm not gonna lie, read the manga. It is amazing. You will not regret it. This volume specifically, all right, man. Honestly, just from like the first couple of pages, I knew how it was starting out. Spoilers for Call of the Night, by the way, because I really need to talk about this. But finding out that the detective that they have been fighting is Nazuna's old friend. Like I said, I knew it was gonna happen just off the way the volume was starting and the volume cover. I knew it was gonna happen, but it was like, damn, man. And then just the Halloween thing. Funny enough, Halloween did just pass as well, but in this volume, it is Halloween and the investigator is kind of just going on a kill streak. She's trying to kill off every vampire, and it is amazing. Like, honestly, the writing for this volume, and honestly, the writing for, I think, like the last 3 or 4 volumes up to this point has been phenomenal as of lately. If you've been reading The Call of the Night, comment down below how you feel about it. It is amazing, honestly, and I can't wait for volume 10 and the next volume and the next volume. I don't know what the arc after this is going to be, if there is one, because I only read the physicals. I don't read it digitally. But my friend that does read it digitally said that there's still stuff still going on, like it's not ending anytime soon, which is amazing. But honestly, just really excited to see how this arc ends and just the rest of this story, because it is so enjoyable. Definitely, like I said, my favorite read for the month. Honestly, a solid 9.5, maybe 10. I'm not even gonna lie. After that, we do have one that was recently recommended to me, and I did recently pick it up, and that is 4th generation head Tatsuyuki Oyamoto. This one honestly was actually really, really good also. It is by Scarlet Burico. I think I read something else by them. I'm not 100% sure. But this volume was, or it is just this single volume. Definitely a lot of parts that would be off-putting to some people, definitely. A lot of imagery that would also be off-putting to some people. But despite that, I think it's honestly a really good volume for just a single volume. I know it is a prequel to something else. I always forget what the, it's a prequel to. If you know, definitely comment down below and remind me, because I always forget. But honestly, just from this volume, like I said, I did really enjoy it. And I'm honestly looking forward to checking out the rest of it whenever I get to it eventually. But it is a BL manga for one. And it does follow the story of this guy, which is Tatsuyuki Oyamoto. And this guy here, I forgot his name, but he kind of, just off of his design, you can kind of see it here. He looks like the main character from Persona 5. I hope that doesn't bother some people, because it bothered me when I realized it. But it is very interesting. I'm not sure how to talk about it too much, but there's a lot of self-discovery going on in it. There's a lot of vulnerability going on, a lot of romance. It is very, very interesting. Both of the characters are really lovable. The antagonist for this book is very dislikable, and it was honestly just really enjoyable. A lot of parts in it made me just smile, and I would like catch myself smiling. I'd be like, wait, why are you smiling? And then it's like, it's such a cute or adorable moment. And then towards the end, it does get a little cliche towards the end, but it was really, really enjoyable nonetheless. And this guy here is the main antagonist, but like I said, towards the end, though it does get cliche, it was really enjoyable. I think I'd probably give this like a good 7.5 maybe. Really enjoyable. I know I keep on saying it, but it was honestly that good. It was really enjoyable, for lack of a better phrase. All right, so now we're going to get into kind of the nastier manga. I call these peak friction, and the first one we're going to start out with is Pleasure and Corruption Volume 5. Now this was also one of my favorite volumes to read for this month. This volume was amazing. The mind games in it were crazy, honestly. Especially, so the main character's name is Zen, and he's kind of in a very weird situation, but he just wants to love this girl. I forgot her name exactly, but honestly, they're just going out there on a regular date, and that regular date turns into something more. Not sure how I can really talk about it, I'll be honest, but it does get a little intense, so to say. And basically they get caught, and one other person starts to blackmail Zen so that he could kind of like stop loving her, or at least stop trying to be with her, so that she could then be with the student council president. And like I said, the mind games in here were peak. It was very interesting. This is another one I'd give a 9. Like I said, definitely one of my favorites. It's between this and Call of the Night, I'll be very honest with you. And Pleasure and Corruption definitely isn't for everyone. I know I say this every time I talk about it, but it is not for everyone. But if you can enjoy it, definitely go read it, because I know you will enjoy it. As I always say, it is very similar to the style of Shuzo Oshimi. And if you're a fan of Shuzo Oshimi, you will love this manga, just like how I love this manga. I'm not even gonna lie. It's probably one of my favorites on the shelf. I don't know how many volumes it's gonna be total, but I'm here for every step of the way of it. After that, we do have Chain Soldier Volume 2. I did briefly talk about this earlier, I think in the manga haul video, but this one, honestly, like I said, okay, so if you've been keeping up with the channel, I do have Chain Soldier Volume 1 kind of over there, and I did read it quite some time ago when it first came out, and it was okay. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but this volume right here actually made it really good. It introduced a lot more depth to the story and depth to the characters, and that's what I felt was missing in Volume 1. Of course, not everything's going to be in a Volume 1, but this, like I said, just introduced that level of depth and made it a little bit more than just an ecchi series to me. It is still definitely an ecchi series no matter how you look at it, but now it has that depth, like I said. And I think it honestly really helped like boost the story up, boost the characters, and it did introduce a tournament arc. I kind of already know how that's gonna go. If you've ever seen Sekirei, then you know what I'm thinking. If you haven't seen Sekirei, I'm not gonna say anything. Just proceed with that information how you want to. But like I said, this volume overall really fun, really enjoyable. I'm actually looking forward to Volume 3, and I definitely am gonna be picking it up. I'll probably give this like a good 6, maybe a 5.5, something like that. But really enjoyable overall. Now the next one is the peakest of friction. So we do have Arrow Ninja Scrolls Volumes 1, 2, and 3. I cannot show you the backs of these books, but I can show you the side kind of generously. But this one, I honestly can't even tell you what the plot is about, but it is funny, really funny, and really funny. I really don't know how to talk about it, I'll be very honest with you. The art is actually really good, both in you know, regular times and the peakest of times. The art is really good, and the characters are so funny in the way that the situation and the overall plot is just very silly, and they take it very seriously. It's honestly really funny, and honestly is also really enjoyable. I can't really find much pages that I can show to you, I'll be very honest, But like I said, art is really good. Of the pages that I can show, it's honestly really enjoyable though. I'll cover the back of the book a bit so you could kind of read the plot for yourself. But that's the plot. Hopefully you got a good picture of it, because I can't show you a better picture of it. But let's move on to the last physical things I did read. Now, this last series is one that was recently recommended to me. I did also recently pick it up, and honestly, it was really enjoyable. Definitely a solid 8, maybe even a 9 for all 5 of the volumes, and that is Go With The Clouds North by Northwest. I'm gonna just kind of show off all of the volume covers because these volume covers are really good. I'll be honest, the art in here was beautiful, and the mangaka Aki Irie, or Irie, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but they do have another manga, and the covers for that are also really beautiful. And if you have read that, definitely comment down how you feel about it. I forgot the name of it, but the covers are really beautiful, and I'm probably gonna try and pick that one up because, like I said, the covers are amazing. This cover right here is honestly my favorite, as well as the volume 1 cover. But for one, the characters in this story are beautiful. The story pacing is very weird but very beautiful. But before we get to that, let's talk about the actual plot. And it is about our main character named Kay, and he's 17. He's a detective living with his grandpa, and he's kind of just doing detective work just so he's not bored. And it's really interesting to start because kind of the way we're introduced to him is that, well, I'll just show you actually. But he's kind of in an accident where his car kind of tumbled over and he's stuck in kind of the middle of nowhere. And for one, Kay looks really cool. Another thing I like about this manga is that all of the characters change their outfits kind of periodically. Sometimes they'll go back to older outfits, but they usually change up their outfits, even if just a little bit, like the jacket or something, which I find really cool because not a lot of manga actually do that. But like I said, the art is amazing in this manga. And here's the thing. Okay, sorry, I was still talking about the plot. But he is a detective, kind of not like a major detective like Batman or something, but detective where it's like somebody will call him, be like, hey, I need help finding my cat, for example, and he'll try and find that cat. But he kind of has this ability to where he can talk to cars, as you can kind of see in this page here, where he's talking to his car. And even though it's in his head, it's still kind of realistic. Not realistic, but the car kind of responds to him, and he gathers information by talking to not only cars, but also just technology in general. And that's how he does a lot of his detective work. But one of my favorite parts in just this first volume, and also real quick, this character is probably my favorite character, not gonna lie, she's really cool. But one of my favorite parts in this volume, there was a part where somebody hired him to kind of find a, like this one old man that they kind of almost had a fling with, kind of, and they were hoping that Kay can help find him. Turns out that that old man was Kay's grandfather, and it's very minor. The way I explained it probably doesn't sound that good, but it was just such a cool and unique way to introduce a character to the story. And like I said, it was one of my favorite parts. It was really cool. And here's kind of that part I was talking about right here. But like I said, the art and the way the panels are just done, the way each panel is drawn, like this one over, it looks so good. Like I said, if you know about the other manga they did, comment down anything about it because I would love to know. But also, this manga was just, everything about it was so good. It was very unpredictable because I thought there would be like, okay, it's kind of shown at the end of volume 1, but I'm not gonna talk too much about it, but it does reveal a main antagonist, and I thought, okay, he's a detective, he's gonna try and find that antagonist. But that doesn't really ever actually happen. Like, the plot doesn't go down that route, at least for the entirety of the story. But it's, I don't know, man. The plot, okay, here's what I really want to talk about. The pacing is very all over the place. For example, in this volume, he kind of does a little bit of minor detective work. Volume 2, he also does a bit of detective work. But volume 3, I believe it was, is him kind of just traveling around with his friend and exploring Iceland. And then volume 4 goes to some other stuff. Volume 5 goes to some other stuff. And it's really, really interesting because the pacing doesn't feel like a story, if that makes sense. It feels more like a kind of like somebody's journal in Iceland, just like, this is what I did today, this is what I did the next day. That's kind of just what it feels like. And it's honestly very interesting and really, really good. It was honestly my favorite part, just how 1 minute it'll be really serious, and then the next chapter it's like really fun, lighthearted, but the transition was just so smooth between it. It didn't feel like, you know, I was catching a whiplash from it. But it is honestly so much fun to read. If you haven't read it, I would definitely recommend this. If you have read it, I'm sure you probably enjoyed it, because this was amazing. Honestly, I think if I do another top 10 manga video, this is probably gonna make the list. I'll be very honest, because I don't know, it's just special. It's just that special. I don't know what more to say about it, I'll be very honest. But that is all for the physical manga I did read. I did read, you know, the regular digital manga where I read like the Shonen Jump weekly chapters, but I don't really have too much that I want to talk about regarding it. Aliens Area and Super Smartphone did get canceled. Both of those were honestly some of my favorites in Jump, I'm not gonna lie. Especially Aliens Area, I did really enjoy that story. I did think the pacing was pretty slow for it, which I think is probably why it got canceled. Super Smartphone was really good, especially towards the end. I think it was really getting good. The last chapter wasn't that good though, in my opinion. It was very odd, especially like the last 2 chapters maybe, but everything before that was kind of solid to me, honestly. I do know that they are gonna start out 4 new series in Jump pretty soon, so I am excited for those. But I've heard that they're gonna cancel one more thing. I'm not really sure what it's gonna be, because they did cancel, like I said, Aliens Area, Super Smartphone, and they put Ruri Dragon in Jump Plus, I believe, or Jump Square, one of them. So that clears up 3 spots. I'm not sure what's gonna make that 4th spot. Honestly, I'm not gonna sit here and say I hope it's this, that, or the 3rd, because I don't think that's right. But Jinka and Luna, I'm really not a fan of. I have been reading, you know, I'm pretty caught up with it. I'm not really a fan of it, but it also does feel like it might end. But then again, it feels a little too early. But also, Aliens Area did end at like 15, 16 chapters, so anything is possible, I guess. Tokyo Demon Bride story, it's very repetitive in its chapters, but I feel like once it breaks out of that repetition, then it's actually gonna kick up. And that's really it. I did kind of want to talk about the new Sasuke manga that started recently. It is really cool. That first chapter was honestly really, really cool. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought it would. But that's really it for the digital, and that's really it for the video. Thank you all so much for watching. Once again, definitely comment down what's your favorite candy, what's your favorite thing you've been reading this month, what have you been reading this month, anything like that. Definitely be sure to follow me on Instagram at SimonSabroYT. Link will always be down in the description. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss an upload. Make sure you stay connected for more manga related content. But like I said, that's it for the video. This is Simon Sabro signing out. I'll catch you on the next one.